Welcome to Dream by Design with Melissa Banks, where women share their dreams, struggles and successes, how they were able to persevere despite the fear and create the life they want and deserve. If you're looking for inspiration to move you past where you normally would stop, then this is the show for you. Here's your host, Melissa Banks.
Welcome to Dream by Design with Melissa Banks. I'm excited you could be with us today. I'm your host, Melissa Banks. Today we continue our special series, Women Who Shine. These amazing women will share with us how they're able to keep shining despite the circumstance. I'm joined today by a special co-host, Deborah Hunter. Deborah is an energetic, charismatic Mississippi native. She's a former television and radio host, a celebrated and highly sought-after chef, artist, motivational speaker, and author. Welcome to the show, Deborah. Thank you for being here.
Hi, Melissa. No, thank you so much for having me. How are you doing today?
I'm amazing. I'm so excited about this series. And let me just begin with congratulating you on some wonderful things that are happening right now. Both of your books are doing so well, and I'm so excited for you. The Little Girl in the Pretty Red Dress and Little DJ and His Big Imagination. How does it feel to share and to have something like this happen and have so much success?
Well, I'm absolutely just having fun, Melissa. Really writing these books for me was just a gift to my grandchildren. I've been blessed. I have one child, and she and her husband have given me 4 incredible grandchildren, and I wanted to just be able to leave a legacy that could not be erased. And what I've learned is that words are very powerful, and these cute little stories are just little lessons that I wanted to share with them, and it just ended up being something that I decided that we wanted to share with other children. So I'm really grateful for what's happening with these books, and I'm looking forward to seeing where God is taking us in the future.
Well, congratulations again, and I know it will all be wonderful. Let's talk about the women who shine. I'm so excited about this series. You know, oftentimes we look at other women and they inspire us and encourage us, but we don't stop and honor them publicly or privately for that matter. But you went and you honored all of these amazing women publicly. So why was it important to you to make that post that day that you did that?
Well, Melissa, you know, I absolutely have a thirst and hunger for people. I love people, and I particularly love women. And what I have found is what you said, that a lot of times we are quite comfortable with the critical public end of, you know, acknowledging people, but very rarely do you find women out loud saying kindness one to another. And I think a lot of that is driven by how television and media have kind of staged this, you know, really ridiculous concept that women don't like each other. But we really do better in the world when we're kind and loving towards one another. And it's just that it was just important for me to let you, along with our guests today and the other women, know how much I really appreciate the effort that you make every day to show up in the world and to give so much.
Well, I, for one, was so honored and excited when I saw that post to be among those amazing women, but also just have you take the time to shine the light on us. Well, I was so inspired by that I wanted to take it a step further. And one of the things I've heard you say is give them their flowers while they could smell them. I can remember my mother used to say, give me my flowers while I yet live. And that's just so amazing to me that just jumps out at me, and I wanted to do more. So we here at Dream by Design with Melissa Banks wanted to highlight these women even more, to give them an opportunity to shine. So I'm going to stop talking and turn it over to you so that you can introduce today's Woman Who Shines.
I am so excited, Melissa, to share with you today's guest. I literally met Mary Ellen, I believe it was in 2018 at a event right here in Mississippi that was hosted by Cyrus Webb, who you and I both are connected to. He's a very dear friend. But the day that I met Mary Ellen, I will never forget it, because literally she's physically beautiful, but her spirit, her light was just so bright in the room. And I remember just connecting with her in that moment. And as these few years have passed by, I have known her to be instantly beautiful inside and out. So this is really a wonderful privilege to have her here with us today.
Wow. I am so humbled and so blessed by both of you guys. I mean, both of you wonderful friends and wonderful ladies, and who have achieved so much. And I will say, like Melissa did, Deborah, when I saw your post, I was like, you mentioned me in there? You guys are kidding. But it was just such a highlight. I bless both of you, and I've never met Melissa in person, but I look forward to it in the future, definitely.
Absolutely. Well, Mary Ellen, let me tell you, it's one of the things that you do every day in the world is, is you connect people to the truth and, the spirit of being the light. And so with that, I am learning to just freely give back to others in truth and in kindness. And I'm really happy to have you as, one of those women in my circle of kindness. It's just incredible. So if you will very quickly share with our audience a little bit about what it is that you are over there doing in Tennessee to change the world.
Well, what I've been doing since my first book, Healing Words, Life Lessons to Inspire, came out, I started posting a truth of the day on the Internet to help them connect with some of the things I write in Healing Words. And plus, I wanted to make the world a little bit better than it was, because everything on the Internet, so much of it is so negative. I wanted to do something positive. So I started posting a truth of the day, and then people started following them, and then I came out with my second book, which was Truth, Taking Responsibility Unleashes True Healings, which took me quite a bit longer to write because it's 366 more truths that you can use throughout your day, and then became a second edition of Healing Words, Life Lessons to Inspire. And I have clients now, and I have the Words I Choose to Live By show with Melissa and Cyrus and Darius Ewing, and just all bunch of, I always told my students when I was teaching middle school, just leave the world a little bit better than when you came. That's what it's all about, learning what you're here to learn, being kind, be as nice as you can to everybody. If you don't like what they're saying, okay, you don't have to say anything back. Just go on with your day. And just be as nice and kind and beautiful a person as God wants you to be.
With that being said, Mary Ellen, how important do you think it is to be able to take that spirit of love, kindness, and spirituality into the business arena that you are a part of? The motivational industry is largely dominated by men. So how do you find, being a woman and taking that spirit, how does that affect you and your ability to share with others?
Well, it's definitely hard, to break into, and it's hard. You have to believe in what you're doing first. You have to have a passion in it, just like you have. And I wanted to say, I'm sorry, Deborah. I wanted to say your children's books are just wonderful, and I'm so proud of you. You're just doing so fantastic. And I know since I believe in my writings and I believe in my speaking, then once other people hear me speak, they go, oh, could you speak to this group? Then could you speak here? And it's just like a snowball effect. And you have to believe in, you have to always come from love. You can either come from love or fear. Okay, like we're speaking right now is a loving platform. There's Absolutely. No fear base, there's no motives, there's no expectations, there's no judgments. We're just speaking as friends. And when everybody can speak like that and come from love and get out of the fear base, and get out of the expectations, get out of the motives, get out of the judgments, then we will begin to heal the planet, and not until. But we have to all be as kind as we can. We have to all be as nice as we can. We have to all be as compassionate as we can, because we're all going through different trials and tribulations. Different things happen during the day. It doesn't have to ruin your whole day, and it doesn't have to ruin your whole week, and it doesn't have to ruin your whole year. I have clients that get stuck in things that happened 15 years ago, and I'm still trying to get them through it. And I'm like, okay, you know, and you have to laugh at life. You have to have that love, that joy in your heart, that you know, that freedom. That, you know, God put us here to be happy. He put us in the Garden of Eden. We had all the food we had to eat. We had all the pharmaceuticals we'd ever need in nature. And then what we have to do, we had to do the one thing He told us not to do. Okay. Hello. But it's so important.
You're absolutely right about that. We have a tendency of doing the one thing, Mary Ellen, that we're not supposed to do. But what I've learned from that is a lot of times in my own life, it is those mistakes or those broken places, Mary Ellen, that has oftentimes led me into being more mature and places of success that I would have never imagined. So I feel like even messing up, it's still part of God's big old plan for our lives.
Oh, exactly. Because it's in those hard places when you feel stuck, when you've said the wrong thing or you've done the wrong thing or whatever, that you wake up to yourself and you become aware, hey, I did that and I shouldn't have done that, you know, and you forgive yourself. And if you have to go to somebody else and say, gee, I am so sorry I did that, then go ahead and do it. And they might say, well, I don't forgive you. That's okay. At least you reached out to them. But true forgiveness is forgiveness of yourself and learning from that error, whatever error it was.
Absolutely. So let me ask you this. In the motivational industry, there are a few people that I absolutely keep close to me, and I will never see them in life because some of them are no longer present on the planet. One of those people is Florence Scolleshan. I wake up with her and I go to sleep with her. Her voice is just absolutely incredible. Who's that person in the industry that you find that you are most drawn to?
Yeah, Florence Scolleshan. Is that who you said?
Yes.
Yeah, because I have her books. I mean, I think she wrote back. Yeah, she wrote a long time ago. I like Paul Ferrini. He has a lot of books out there. I have probably every single one of them that he's ever written, and his things on tape. And because I was looking at him over here, Unconditional Love has a face of Christ on it, and I've done a lot of work with A Course in Miracles since 1984, and that helped.
One of my favorite series.
Yeah, A Course in Miracles, and I'm a Course in Miracles teacher now, and that's basically what my books have been pulled from. And people will say, well, that's not the Bible or whatever, and I read the Bible daily, and I listen to God's Word. And A Course in Miracles is just a different way of seeing those words, a different way of reading those words.
Now, that's really interesting that you said that, because what I've found a lot of times as believers, we find it really difficult to accept voices from other places if it's not directly from the Bible. But like yourself, what I found, even the scripture in the Bible says that there was, Jesus Christ did so many things while he was here on earth that there would not be enough room for all the books to be written. And so once I discovered that, I realized that it was okay for me to open my heart up as long as whatever was being written was done in love and truth. And I think with that, Mary Ellen, it has helped to make my life and the way I see people in the world a lot broader.
Mm-hmm. That's so true. And Christ said in the Bible, he said 33 times, he said, take no thought. And people say, well, that means for what you eat or for what you drink. No, he meant take no thought. If you think of anything, it's your mind, it's your ego system that gets you into trouble. But when you come from your knowing, when you come from your connection with God, your highest power, Jesus Christ, whatever you want to call it, the universe, whatever, when you come from your soul, then you know which way to go. When you take no thought, that is so important.
It is important in a way, Mary Ellen, that it took me a little while to figure out. The problem that I was having was I kept trying to separate God in different genres of my life. It was until I really embrace the fact that he's God, whether I'm in a religious setting or whether I'm doing my artwork or writing, no matter where he is, I can never be separated from his breath. When it was what Jesus said, the Father and I are one. When that light turned on for me, it really caused even the level of creativity in my life to kind of just explode, because I can never be separated from God. And I think that what you are doing in the world, what you're sharing is really encouraging people to know that. And I'm really proud of you for that.
Oh, well, thank you so much. When God says, I am the Lord thy God, I am, that is that is the highest truth that there is. God is, okay? And we take that to even further, because people will think, well, there's God, and then there's I, and then there's me, the little I, Mary Ellen, okay? But that's not true. God is in me. God is in you. God is in everybody. We are all one. We are all connected. So when you are judgmental or you are prejudiced against somebody, you're actually being prejudiced against yourself, because we are truly all connected to God.
It was when my grandmother said to me, Mary Ellen, if you can simply remember every time that you take a breath, somebody in the world at the same time is breathing that same breath with you. Yeah. And it really speaks to, our humanity. It's this whole idea that Melissa is sharing her stage with us today. It is that, being connected heart to heart and in such a loving, positive way, that even if the world is what a lot of people are saying is dark, the little lights that all of us have, I don't care how dark a room is, if you shine a little bit of light in it, everybody in that dark room can see the light. And so I'm really grateful for so many beautiful women like you in my life. It just makes life so much sweeter.
Oh, well, thank you so much.
With that being said, I have
go ahead.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
So what would be the one legacy that you want to leave in the earth?
Well, like I always told my students, I just really want to leave the world a little bit better than when I came. And if after I'm gone, people can say, well, she did just that. She made the world a little bit better for one person or for two people or for three people or for whatever, then my place here, then I did what I came for. I just want to really, and I want to make the world better, and I also want to wake people up to what they need to learn. So they'll get out of that darkened closet, and they will see the light, and they will say, oh, my gosh, I do need to be aware of myself. I do need to quit blaming her, because it's not really her, it's really me. I want to wake people up to that truth.
As a teacher, how important do you think it is for you to completely live your authentic self while you're sharing with others?
Well, you have to be. You cannot, at least I couldn't. I could not write these truths if I didn't also live them, because I would feel fake. I would feel phony. I would feel that to me, that just wouldn't be balanced. And I know that people who are not living a balanced life, that's when you start getting ill. That's when your body starts reacting, because God's waking you up. He's trying to tell you something. It's like the MS that I was diagnosed with. God didn't put it here to hurt me. He put it here for me to learn from. And so when I grabbed onto it with love and gave it a great big hug and say, okay, Mr. MS, what do I need to learn? That's when the healing begins. And that's when the healing starts.
Wow. So can you share with us one of or two lessons that you've learned as you are walking through the process of healing with MS?
MS, if you read about it in spirituality, which I do, of course, for a lot of things, is related to stubbornness, hard-heartedness. And so when I was first diagnosed, I read that and I thought to myself, I'm not stubborn, I'm not hard-hearted. And then I was talking to Pete, my husband, and I said, my daddy told me that, Mary Ellen, you would beat a dead horse and tell it to get up. And that's stubbornness, and I would. if I really liked that horse, and I did have a horse when I was little, my granddad had a ranch out in Montana, and I had a horse, and if Copper had died, I would have gotten off and said, "Get up, Copper, get up," you know. And it's that stubbornness which your MS is tied to, when I just allow myself to be, when I quit having to have things XYZ order. You know, it's like, no, it has to be this way, it has to be that. I had to let that go, okay, and allow things to be messy if they were messy, okay, and allow things to be a certain way and let go. I had to learn about myself. And in learning about myself, the MS is not always just gone, but I know that when I have a heavy schedule for the day, I have to pace myself in order to keep my MS monster in his closet. Like today, I don't usually do things this late in the evening. It's hard for anybody with MS. Later on in the day is a hard time. So I had to pace myself today so that I would be ready by this time to do this great interview that I wanted to do with both of my dear friends, Melissa and Deborah.
Well, we really, truly appreciate you pacing yourself and being here with us. But my mind is on fire and truly excited. There was a conversation that I had with a very dear friend of ours, Cyrus Webb, just a few weeks ago about how our thoughts and our mental behavior affects everything about our bodies, including how we age. And so to hear you say that today is just really, significant, because I think a lot of times, Mary Ellen, people don't really realize how important our words are, even in our physical beingness.
Yeah, I have read a book a long time ago. It's called Your Body Believes Every Word You Say. And it was all about how if you go to a job and you say, I can't stand this, okay, and then all of a sudden your feet start hurting. Well, you're telling your body all day that you can't stand. And what people don't understand is God interprets literally. Like if you say you don't want to gain weight the next year, you just asked for 5 pounds, because negatives are not interpreted. So you have to ask for, I am my perfect weight. You have to ask for things correctly. You have to pray correctly. You have to say the words you want. You have to think the thoughts you want. Your thoughts create your life, and your actions create, your thoughts create your actions, and your actions create your life. Sorry. Got that wrong.
No, that was perfectly said. And at this very moment, what I'm going to do is turn this show back over to Melissa. Thank you so much for sharing with me, Mary Ellen. I look forward to seeing you again very soon.
Oh, I hope so. Thank you, Deborah.
You're so welcome.
Wow,
thank you, Melissa.
That conversation right there, I'm like sitting on the edge of my seat. It was so inspirational and just so inspiring. I really appreciated that conversation. Thank you, Mary Ellen, for being here today, and thank you for being a woman who shines for sure. When you said we hadn't met, that's when it dawned on me that we haven't met. I feel like I've already met you, so I definitely look forward to actually being in the same space at the same time physically and getting to know you.
Forward to that also. We got to get Cyrus to get us together.
I know we'll have to talk to him about that, put something together. But thank you so much for being here. One of the things, Mary Ellen, that jumps out at me about you is that your business is empowering. That's what you do. That's what you do is to empower people. So when I see someone who does that every day, all day, that's your whole business, I often wonder, when you need a push, when you're in a place where you just need to hear the right words at the right moment, at the right time to push you to continue doing what you do, what is your source? Where do you go for that?
God is the best answer I can have, because there are so many times, especially with the MS, when I get fatigued or whatever, and I have what I call war room, like the movie, a closet here in my house, and I will go in there, and it has my Bibles and candles and all kinds of stuff, and I just sit there and say, okay, God, what next? Okay, help me to find something. Show me the way. I've done X, Y, Z for you. I know you want me to do more. Help me to see it. I talk to God all day long. I pray without ceasing, like it says in the Bible.
Absolutely. You know, one of the things as entrepreneurs, and I tell people all the time, I absolutely love being an entrepreneur. I wake up thinking about it. I go to sleep thinking about it. But I also say something else, and that it's not easy to be an entrepreneur. Being an entrepreneur oftentimes is very hard. So I have to ask you, how has being an entrepreneur and choosing this path for yourself affected your life?
Well, it is definitely hard being an entrepreneur. You know, it's easier to write the book than it is to get people to buy it, that's for sure. But, you know, like I was telling Deborah, you know, when you have a passion about something, and I know your book, I know my books, and there are so many books out there that will assist people, that when you know, you really want to get these words to people. And so every day I wake up and I check different connections. I think, okay, who can I connect with today? Who can I contact today? Who can I give a pitch to today, you know, to assist me? And, you know, you just keep working the work, and every once in a while the phone rings or you get an email and you're like, oh, yes, this is perfect. Thank you so much, God. And you get so excited.
Absolutely. I say you do that happy dance. Absolutely. I love it.
I know you do. But I go around that.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I get down, that's what I do. I go ahead and do my happy dance anyway. I'm like, well, okay.
Exactly. That's what keeps me going. Is something I just have to find a moment that I can celebrate and do a happy dance. It can be a little thing, just something to push forward, or a joke or something to keep me going. Mary Ellen, this has been a great conversation, and we could go on and on and on, but thank you so much for being who you are and absolutely being a woman who shines and are willing to come share with us today.
Okay, I appreciate the time, Melissa, and love you to death, even though we haven't met. Thank you so much.
Love you, too. And I want to say thank you to our co-host, Deborah Hunter, and thank you again to our guest, Mary Ellen, for being here today.
Okay.
And thank you to our audience for tuning in to today's edition of Dream by Design with Melissa Banks. I'm your host, Melissa Banks, saying all your dreams are possible. Believe in yourself, work hard, and don't quit. Until next time, thank you for choosing Dream by Design with Melissa Banks. Enjoy your day.